Hi, Sandy Phillips here and welcome to the Property Pipeline Pro podcast, a show about online digital marketing, business growth and personal development. This show is designed to give you the solid marketing foundation every property entrepreneur needs to build a strong business from the perspective of online and digital marketing, to feel in control and live a more focused life. Yes, welcome to podcast number 5. But don't forget you can access the podcast through all the usual podcast channels such as Spotify, Apple, Google, and we're also on YouTube. So choose your favourite and don't forget to subscribe and follow so you don't miss any of these information-packed, bite-sized marketing pods. The podcast is here to inspire, motivate and drive the marketing achievement in your business. And you might want to grab a pen and a piece of paper because I'm going to try and squeeze in as much information as possible today. Because we're going to be talking about how to convert prospect investors. These are people like JVs, other investors who just want to source product from you, or partner investors who want to invest in projects. So we're going to talk about how to bring them on board as partners, how to convert them and bring them on board as partners. And why? Because as property investors, we have a couple of faces to the business. One is looking for and converting motivated sellers simply because we need deals. And for that we use a motivated seller website, which I went into great detail in my last couple of podcasts. But the other side of this business is the face we show to fellow investors. This is really the face of the investment business. So I'm going to look at what we can do online to really connect and engage with our perfect client or our perfect investor partner. I'm going to talk about the psychology that goes into our investor-facing website and the technology you need to create this connection and engagement that will set you apart from your competitors. And don't be mistaken, you are in competition with others. There are other property sources out there in your area, and there are other project-driven investment companies that are looking for prospect investors exactly like the ones you are looking for. So you're definitely in a competition. But thankfully, if you set up your website in the right way, the competition can be very low or can be eradicated completely. So the point of an investor-facing website is to attract new prospect investors, to provide them with the very, very best information you can in the best way possible, to give them confidence in your business and to make it easy to engage with you. In fact, the psychology of the site is all about confidence. And initially, at the most fundamental level, just having a site that a prospect investor can visit is of course a big tick in the box. After all, if someone's put the time and effort into building an online presence, they must be serious, right? The problem is that what you put online can be your best friend or your worst enemy. Most websites are really quite poor and instill zero confidence in the site visitor. Mainly because it's too confusing, it's not easy to use, the information is out of date, or it simply just doesn't work. So let's look at what you actually need in an investor-facing website, the anatomy of the site, if you like. As with any online presence for any business, it has to be structured, it has to look really professional, and it has to be simple to use. Some of the most successful websites are not websites as such, they're sales funnels. Now to the site visitor, they'd never know the difference, but funnel technology is very, very different to website technology. These successful sites tend to be what we call one-page sites. They will have other pages, but the main focus is on the home page. The page that prospect investors land on, which is why we call it a landing page. We don't need navigation, that's links that go to other pages, and we don't need distractions like sidebars or blogs. This site should be 100% dedicated to engage and inform. And to do this, you don't need an expensive 20-page website with years of blogs. What you need is just 3 things. The first is a clear explanation of exactly what you do, how you do it, and how a prospect investor will benefit by working with you. The second is a call to action to download a comprehensive prospectus or guide to investing with you. And third, a seamless way for the prospect investor to contact you. So let's go through these one by one. First one was a clear explanation of exactly what you do, how you do it, and how a prospect investor will benefit from working with you. Now, this clear explanation should be right at the top of the page. You only have a few seconds to capture a site visitor's attention. As soon as someone visits your site, they want to know they're in the right place. So make sure you have a headline that they would expect to see, like source your next investment property deal from the experts, or it could be more specific, like sourcing properties in Birmingham. Or if you're looking for investors in property projects, then state that. In other words, as soon as they get through to this site, they just know they're in the right place. You can also include a little supporting text because it helps the site visitor. Then there's no hard and fast rules here, but these are the guidelines that we know work. It keeps people on the site long enough to read further and start to engage. And talking about engagement, let's move on to point number 2, which was a call to action to download a comprehensive prospectus or guide to investing with you. The one thing a prospect investor wants from you and what they're looking for is information. That's information on you, your business, how you work, and how they can get involved. What's the benefits? What returns do you offer? And we can do that with a downloadable guide. This is why you don't want to put too much information on your website. You want people to want to know more. And the great thing is a downloadable guide is the fastest and easiest path of least resistance when it comes to engagement. They want information, and your downloadable guide or your prospectus gives them that information. And they can download that very, very easily from your site. I mean, the fact is that most people would prefer to download something they can take a look at later, rather than take what they perceive as a bigger commitment to actually calling you. Now, some people will just call, and that's great. And during your conversation, you can then offer to email them over the prospectus. But if they download your guide before they call you, this does a couple of things. They get to know you, like you, and trust you much more. But you also get to capture their information, their name, their telephone number, their email. So now you're building up investor leads. And this way you can email them, you can call them, and you can follow them up. This will, of course, start that all-important engagement process. They may not call you just because they don't have the time at that point, but they do want the information, which is why the downloadable guide is so important. But there is, or there should be, a secondary call to action on that site. And all this has got to do with the convenience of a time when they can talk to you. So they may not be able to do that right now. But this is where point number 3 really comes in. Point number 3 was a seamless way the prospect investor can connect with you. This is now done by many businesses by using something called call scheduling software. This is where someone can book a call with you at a time that is convenient to them. And this is simply another piece of funnel technology. They can click on a button, go to a page, pick a day, pick a time, put their details in, and that will come directly into your email. Now, with the right technology, you can also send them an email automatically, confirming the meeting, the time, the place, and the method of communication. This should all be done automatically. So now you have a clear message so site visitors know they're in the right place, a download so you can capture their details, and a simple and seamless way to connect. The rest of the page should be exciting but minimal information. And when I say minimal, I mean just don't go into too much detail. This is what the prospectus is all about. That's why when I'm writing copy for these sites for my clients, I also remind the site visitor to get the download by saying something like, I go into this in much more detail in our guide to investors. And then put a button just next to the text. Sometimes with a picture of the downloadable document right next to it. And technically, you just need to set up an autoresponder so you can capture site visitor information and deliver the PDF guide. You also need call scheduling software so they can book a call that's convenient to them and post that call directly into your calendar. Now, if you become a Property Pipeline Pro client, we do all that for you. And if you want to know more, why don't you try the software out and book a call with me to discuss how we can help you get your property business online fast. And I'll stick the link to book a call with me in the description. So thanks for joining me today. I hope you're getting a lot of great information from these podcasts. If you do, it'd be great if you could leave a 5-star review for these podcasts. I really do appreciate the support. And don't forget you can subscribe and follow us on YouTube, Spotify, Apple, Google. Just pick your favourite and follow us on there. And we also have a Facebook group where you can ask any questions you like. I'd love to be able to help you out on that. And again, I'll put a link to that in the description. So until next time, happy property marketing.